Good morning. It's Tuesday, April 29th, 8:30 a.m., and we are here for our weekly commissioners meeting. I will now call the meeting to order and begin with an open forum for public input, 3 minutes per person, 15-minute time limit. I do not have any public in the room or any attendees online. So I would entertain a motion for approval of the agenda.
I move that we approve the agenda as written.
So move. This is Cindy.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Motion is approved to approve the agenda as presented. Barb, do we have any emails or letters of response or support that need our comments?
I need some direction. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Okay, I have a file up here I've been holding. So the board received a letter from the Historical Society relating to the county-owned property bordering the museum on the south side. I didn't know if there was any direction you wanted to give staff to respond, or are we just holding on to that and then you'll respond when necessary?
Yeah, they had called me as well last week, and I don't see any reason why we sell that property to the church, but that's just my thought.
Yeah, I don't think that we had made the decision to sell it, so I would just hold it until further decisions are made or anything changes.
Okay, I will hold on to that. Thank you. That is one. And there was also the noxious weed control letter regarding the kochia in Ephrata. I didn't know if we sent it to Public Works and Facilities and Maintenance, if there was anything else that you needed staff to do with that.
I don't think so. I mean, I think staff, the Public Works to take care of that, or Central Services, one of the two.
Okay. I will file that also. Thank you.
That's it for you, Barb?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Roundtable items. Commissioners, do you have any roundtable items?
Yeah, the animal, not vaccination, but the spay and neuter clinic. I just wanted to talk about that.
Okay.
We could probably lump it. I know we're gonna get one for Bonnie Helvey's group. So if we just hold on that one, and then we need to have a discussion, the board, if we're gonna do that, where is the funding coming from? How are we gonna pay for this? But I mean, I asked them to submit it so we could have discussion.
Yeah, I think we're gonna hold that item for this week and then bring it up next week.
Okay, sounds like a great idea, and I do not have any other questions on the items.
Cindy, will you be in here today?
Yeah, I sent a Teams meeting to Brittany and Barb. I had to go to school this morning between 8 and 8:15, so that's why I'm running late. So I'm on my way there right now.
Okay, and then you do have the exchange. Will you be at the compensation study kickoff on Wednesday?
I think I have an appointment. I want to say at 2 or 2:15. So it was 2:45. I think I'm not sure. It was really, let me visit with you when I get in the office and I'll look at my calendar. But I did tell Decorah that if it's in person, I will not be able to make it.
Okay. We'll find that out today. Any other roundtable items?
No, I just, I'll be at that EDC banquet as well. I don't see that I was on the schedule schedule, but I've already bought my ticket. I'll plan on being there.
I did change that for you, Kevin. It shows all 3 commissioners at the EDC meeting on Thursday now.
Okay, thank you.
If nothing's on fire, I'll be there, but if something's on fire, I won't be there.
Barb, do I need to pay for that ticket or did we grab a ticket? I wasn't sure if it's been paid or if I need to pay for it.
I believe Caitlin sent you an email that she used the credit card and paid for you, I think.
Okay, I wasn't sure. I just know I was signed up. I didn't know if I was paid. Thank you.
You bet.
Any other items?
I don't have anything else.
Anything else for you, Cindy?
Nope, I'm good.
Then I'll entertain a motion on the consent agenda items.
I'll make a motion, we accept the items 1 through 22, holding number 7 for discussion next week.
I'll second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 Aye. Motion passes. Consent agenda items 1 through 22, holding number 7 for 1 week, are approved. And do we have any walk-on items, Barb?
No walk-on items, and I apologize. Someone was at the counter. Can you tell me who made the motion and who seconded, please?
Kevin, Cindy.
How are you, girl?
Cindy and then Kevin seconded?
No, Kevin.
Kevin,
motion, Cindy
and then
second.
Cindy seconded. Okay, thank you.
Ouch.
Cindy, is it okay for me to stamp your signature on these, or do you want to wait till you get here?
Just go ahead and stamp and then you'll be done with the whole mess.
Okay. Rob, I'll be right down.
I forgot to wear a watch. Thought you were Cindy. I was like, that was quick.
And I apologize. Cindy did send a Teams message last night late, and I had forgotten.
Well, it happens.
I was half asleep.
I probably wasn't.
Yeah. Thank you, sir.
I was probably driving around.
Oh, Kevin, you missed this one.
No, I didn't. It's right there.
Right there. I know. Do you like Mady Kim's?
What?
Mady Kim.
I already got out the statement. I wasn't gonna be on it, but it was misspelled. The whole thing.
Oh,
So I already filed a form.
perfect.
Not that it's that big a deal.
Well, we try to let people
but I
know
expect better.
of Mady. This is Mandy's doing.
She filled out her own. Yeah. Spell check.
of your, so we will send misspellings back.
Oh, don't get too excited.
Per Commissioner Burgess.
It's okay.
Barble. Ha 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 ha.
I would want somebody to
Tell you,
tell me if I need.
but see, not everyone is as thankful as you are.
I'm not gonna take it. You know, it's personal. You know, it happens.
Oh, Kevin, I've never made a mistake.
You know, you're on record with that saying.
Yeah, well, I date these things wrong and sign the wrong lines, so got one job.
Guess what I just did?
You do.
I put her signature over best clerks. Now I'm really sad. We might have to reprint that.
Yeah, that was you.
Oh, this
Like I
thing.
said, best clerk. Should have put a wink there, I guess.
Oh, gosh. Oh. What a day. And it's only 8:42.
Today's, I hate waiting for days to be over.
And it's even gonna be over early today.
No, it's not.
Well, not, yeah. Well, I get to at least
Today
do
I
other
have,
things.
Boys and Girls Club asked me to do an event,
Oh,
but they asked me in like February or January, and I said, yeah, we could look at it, could work out, but I told her to call me, but she never called. She texted me last night at 8:03, making sure I was gonna be there this morning.
this morning.
I was like, well, that's what the plan was, but I was like, no. I can be there around lunchtime. But then I gotta be ready to sit on that panel too.
Did you ever find out what that was for? What
Which
was the
one?
panel for?
Data centers?
Oh, really?
I'm hoping that it's a pound, but try to figure out how. Such the data.
No, that's not what it's about.
No.
Benefits of data centers.
Well, there are some benefits. But
Yeah. Yeah,
when they don't like to pay their taxes, that's not benefits.
no, not all of them are do that though.
No, I know. There's the ones that gladly whine and complain about it. As they're raking in $1,000 every day.
Be nice to be a data center right now. That's a hold.
Did you get her?
Got it. Her signature looks nicer than mine on that. It's the 5th. Next Monday.
Yes, but the 6th is when you'll take action on it, so the next consent. Are you, which booth are you bringing to the golf?
No,
None? Okay.
I'll do some, I don't know, window tint or something, silent auction.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, like the lemon, it just didn't do that good. Like, everything was free and they, just drink alcohol there, so.
Yeah.
Just throw vodka in it.
I could have done stuff like that, but by Monday, I'm like,
Yeah, mine went to that trip to Nashville.
Who's going?
Renew.
Oh,
Wouldn't that be sweet? Josh came down looking for you. Oh, did you? Okay, good. Just wanted to make sure. Nice.
I didn't realize that there's a time frame that all these things happen. Like, he goes to the post office. The mail, in the pile, then he goes to the mail and sorts it. So then everybody shows up at 9:30 at the front desk. Wanting the mail. So he only has an hour to do it. He just pile the mail for the assessor's office and the treasurer's office.
Yeah.
Doesn't take too much time.
And he has 2 on-calls, and he can always call them in for assistance too. So I do believe he realizes that. So if he ever gets to the point where, like those tax statements, I'm sure, and the payments are a lot.
Right, so, you know, like right now, this week, we're probably gonna get time to help. Some additional help.
And he can make that judgment call.
All the money. Can't get the job done.
Exactly.
It works for everybody.
Absolutely.
Let's have somebody come in and help.
Exactly. And thank you for proclaiming yet again Municipal Clerks Week for next week. It means a lot.
Yeah, pretty good.
It's for all of the municipal clerks. I even send this out to all the cities and all of the clerks around the county.
is that it for you?
Yes. Your clerks work hard.
It is 8:48 a.m. and we are finished with our consent agenda. We will go into recess until 9 a.m.
If you're gonna praise me, do it on the record.
You guys do a great job.
Barb,
Just for the
I've
record.
never had a clerk better than you.
You haven't, have you?
No, you, Brittany, Caitlin, Jerry, best clerks I've ever
You've
had.
ever had in the last 4 years.
5, well, 4.
4 and
4
4
months.
months. Yes.
Good
in general.
morning, it's 9:01 a.m. and we are here for our human resources update.
Good morning.
Hello.
Should we go into public comment?
Oh, yes. I would like to open the public comment portion of this meeting. We have no audience as well as no call-in users.
Okay,
There's a
well,
benefit to 9 a.m.
that and 3.
Yes.
All right, well, maybe I'll move my meetings. Just kidding. So I'm going, let's see, number 2, I don't have anything today. Number 3, employee evaluation. I would like to go to an executive session.
How long?
Let's do 10.
We're going to go into executive session for 10 minutes, beginning at 9:01, returning at 9:11 a.m. for job applicant / evaluation, RCW 42.301101G. All right, we were going to continue executive session for 10 more minutes, returning at 9:21 a.m.
Okay, till 9:21.
We are going to extend another 10 minutes to 9:31 a.m.
And if you need to go.
We are out of executive session.
But thank you, team, for doing a good job keeping it moving, because it's been a very frustrating,
Thank you, appreciate that.
Thanks for keeping us on the straight and narrow.
but delicate and dangerous.
Item number 4, I don't have anything today. Updates. Position management, item 5, I have 2 PARs. One is for Renew, one is for Development Services. Development Services you approved last week for the building official. The second one, payroll has asked that I bring it forward for a
Okay, the building official was like a 4 or 5, not a 7, correct?
It was a 5, yeah. Oh, I can take it, you're good. Is building official for signature.
Thank you.
The second one is out of Renew, and it was position as acceptance of a position for controller. And payroll has asked that I bring it forward for signature. I'm a little unclear why it's the standard 2.5%, but because it's over the step 3 in the band, she's asking for the board to sign it. So if you can sign that today, and then I will meet with her and we'll get process figured out. Because I'm not sure that it's needed, but it was on my desk first thing this morning, so brought it forward. Item 6, thank you. Oh, sorry, one more item under 5, position management is the PA public defense wage restructure. The board wanted a week to consider
Which one?
the proposal for the prosecuting attorneys and defense attorneys wage restructure.
Should we discuss that?
We did discuss that.
Should we discuss it further?
Yes.
again?
What would you like to discuss?
I don't know, maybe executive session
Sure.
evaluation?
Okay, we can go in.
For what, 10 minutes?
Yes.
We will go into executive session from 9:34 to 9:44 for job applicant / evaluation, RCW 42.30.1101G.
Vacation.
It is 9:44 and we are out of executive session.
Did you send that over for signing?
Okay, so
Do we have for the prosecutor's office, do we have something to sign?
She's gonna ask us now.
no, I
Sorry.
need the board to make a decision on whether we move forward with the PA and PD wage restructure.
I mean, yes.
Tell me yes.
I'll third that.
Thank
3
you.
yeses.
Okay, item number 6, just wanted to follow back up. We talked about it last week, but to be honest, this morning I could not remember whether I had your approval or not, and I didn't have time to go back and look at my notes, so I just left it on here for the emails for the volunteers, interns, DCL staff that will come in as an expense out of current expense. Just wanted to make sure that
I am a yes.
that was
Just-
okay, so I can ask TS to start assigning those.
I think when they start reaching out, most have already been assigned. I just don't want to give them 2 email addresses.
Right.
It's like the
Yep.
fair advisory, I think they have some.
Yep, we will make sure that they only have one.
I'm a yes,
Okay.
Kevin.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you
All 3
Yeah.
yeses.
for that
In
clarification.
In case you didn't hear Rob's nod.
Yep.
I saw his nod out of the corner of my eye. Also under number 6, I believe Jim McKiernan Fairgrounds came and spoke to the board yesterday with Dan, asking for an increase for seasonals.
Yes.
Just want to, I reiterate that we did have, when he brought forth his 6 positions, under
Is
those.
this office or grounds?
He has 2 office, 4 grounds. He's wanting, I think, across the board.
Yeah, so.
A dollar
yesterday when he
increase?
came in, He had office staff employee that was supposed to start yesterday.
Mhm.
They never showed up. I had to call him to find out what was going on. They said,
What is the salary there?
It was 19.
It's the 1925, so
Okay.
he's asking for a dollar increase. I think, Cindy, when we talked about the positions, when it was approved for him to hire the 6, you talked about the 1979,
It'll be about a little under $21.
yeah, well, he's asking for the 2125, but I know that you had mentioned your seasonals and getting,
Well, the only way I look is, did you look at it, the H2A? It's like the
I
new
know.
minimum in the ag world. And
right. So that's what he's looking for, is a dollar. His budget, he has 50,000, had 50,000 at the time in his budget for seasonals. at the 1925, he was over that 50,000. So increasing it, he will be over, but he hasn't filled
Hasn't filled in.
them either. So there will be some balancing, but my guess is that he'll have to ask for a budget extension at some point. Just wanted to make you aware of that.
1982 is what.
But he's, according to what Dan told me this morning, Jim thinks that he'll be able to manage that.
Are we
So,
paying when we talk about this, and we probably already fixed it, our mailroom, we were at 1719, or what are they at an hour? I just want to make sure that we are.
Seasonals will be more likely to start being hired in the next 30 days anyways, as college is letting out, you know.
yes,
There's only
and
one college out right now, which is like BYU Idaho, so.
right, and every year Jim gets very anxious
Yeah,
about
same.
not having seasonals, and then as soon as school is out in June, we get a flood and positions get filled. But during this time, he always has a little angst, which I don't blame him, but
Yeah, it's concerning because they have a lot going on.
they do.
There's a lot more going on this year than probably ever.
Yeah, no, he's full every
Every day.
weekend. Yeah,
I was up there Saturday and I guess they said that the Huck Fuller building has been rented almost every day.
wow,
So
that's wonderful.
They've got a lot going on.
Yeah,
Maybe we will
Mailroom
break
clerk.
even someday,
maybe that'd be good.
unlikely,
We're getting there.
Mailroom clerk is 23,
Okay.
37.
but we're not breaking
Okay,
even
I'm looking at 19,
even before
oh, maybe
wages.
she's gone, okay.
So it's a long way to go.
That must have been the
An old
on-call.
one, okay.
The
Or the
on-call.
on-call one.
Yeah,
Okay, so-
on-call
Operationally,
hourly.
it's like 300,000 a week.
Okay.
Yeah, get closer.
Okay,
Better
so
than what we were.
That's facts.
What do you
Okay,
guys
thank you for
think?
checking, I just feel like our the ones that come to do the mail. that we
and
need to-
typically if we raise them, then any hourly it has been, then they come back. If we have other hourlies, then we match that as well. So
Do we have any hourly that are that same price or that same wage?
It might be public works.
Definitely.
I don't know if they're,
Sorry, guys. On-call hourly, the last one we hired in October is at $19.25. I couldn't hear if you had just said that.
thank you, Barb.
So we have elections deputies.
That's it.
So they will come
And then the
when,
seasonals at Public Works. So I filtered down the hourly group.
how many are we looking at?
So we have the elections deputies. I don't know if these are volunteers though, or if they're paid.
So we was talking about doing the office and outdoor, all of them to 21, 25.
Yes.
Okay, well then, I think if Jim's doing that, we should, just me, move our mailroom person up to.
Yeah, we'll pull the data, make sure
Yeah, I
that
would
we've
like
got.
to do everybody, I feel like it's a quick decision right now.
Yeah.
Can you pull the data?
Yep, I can bring it back next week.
I know Gina will get it and it will
Yeah.
be perfect. Thank you. Gina is always very thorough
Yeah.
and just nice to look, so thank you,
Thank you.
Gina.
Thank
It
you.
makes our decision a lot easier going, wait, well, let's clean up some of these here.
I will bring it back next week if that works.
Is the board okay with that?
Absolutely.
Okay. And then we can get you the information beforehand, but I know you'll want to make that decision
Yeah,
in a
thank
public meeting, so. Okay, number 7, recruitment. We currently have 16 positions. That's down from last week, so we're getting them filled, which is exciting. Nothing for benefits today. On other, I've added some information about local Gov University. So it's our training program. Everybody in the county got an email yesterday saying, please log in. Welcome to local Gov U. Please log in. I'll be sending out an email today encouraging people to do that. TS did get some emails saying this might be suspicious, which they then responded that it wasn't and to please go ahead and do it. But some of the courses that I think that I would recommend as mandatory is sexual harassment, anti-harassment, workplace bullying. We'll have some safety. I'll get with Blair and he can pick a safety course or two to put up annually, ethics and customer service. Most of the
You know,
courses.
I think I had seen that and I was scared to open it because I didn't want to be.
I was scared to open it because it's just one more thing to do.
Oh, no,
Yeah.
I'm like, looks a little suspicious. Okay.
So it is
Thought I wasn't
fine.
the only one that thought that.
His name is Tyler, so it'll come from
There's that handicap.
Tyler, yes.
Okay.
Tyler, the person though, from Lexipol, he's at the email. So how does the board feel about those?
I
That
think
is
it's good. We've
annual.
had mandatory training previously. So what comes back though, do they have to take it during their break, their lunch hour? They say that if it is a mandatory training, they should be able to take it during their work hour, work week.
They should get paid to do the training because it's a required. So it's sexual harassment training is an hour. In fact, all of them are between 30 minutes and an hour. The ones for managers are a little bit longer. The manager, department head, electeds are 2 hours for the sexual
Right, 'cause
harassment.
they
But
know where-
we have to do that by law. So I'll be sending out an email letting everyone know that they can start looking for trainings on there that will be assigning and the expectation that they need to do them. Okay, and that's all I have for you today. Does the board have anything for me?
Yeah, I just want to shout out to Gina. Thank you, Gina, for always, when you're coming back for wage increases and stuff. It is super helpful when you do the spreads on, I take it for granted. So thank you for always providing that and
She does
giving
good
us
work.
I like to look at numbers. I'm a numbers person to just look at that and go, oh, we need to either rein it back or fix the rest of these. So thank you for doing it. I know there's a lot of time involved.
Well, thank you. I appreciate the acknowledgement.
All right, I'm signed in.
Okay,
Yeah,
good
I just kind of
job.
like doing it, so away
Good
we
work.
go.
I'll do it after my next meeting.
Fair enough. I'll know when you do it. We will have, it's going to be a good system. And I am taking all of the courses.
I already took some of them.
Good. Yeah, I'm taking all of the courses, so everything that we'll send out, I will have taken and know that it's worth taking. I won't assign any that I think are a waste of time.
You've already done these?
Maybe
What?
not those on that list.
You did the new hire one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I passed too, just so you know.
Oh, good.
Well,
you're
that's
done.
good. That's good.
Okay, so Barb, we will be sending you an email here shortly from Kevin McCrae. And if you can forward it to the Republican chairperson.
Is that the one that Kevin emailed to everyone? He also CC'd the Republican Party as well, I believe.
Oh, he did, okay.
He did.
I was in shock, okay.
Yes.
So do we need to,
Still need to notify officially.
yeah. Looking for 3 names, letting them know that we need 3 names.
I'm honestly not sure what the process is. I don't recall being involved before, but I will look back at our files and see what we have. Do you know the last time that was done? I could look back in that year.
Yeah, we did Angus. I believe we appointed Kevin. We appointed
Yeah, you
Kevin.
appointed Kevin.
So he's an appointee.
Okay, I'll look back in your files.
I think Danny actually did some of the work on that one. He was very involved in it. Not Kevin, Danny, sorry.
You said Danny.
Oh,
Yeah,
good.
You said Danny did the work. Okay. Anything else for me today?
Nope. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. And Gina, you are a rock star.
We will go into recess until 10 a.m. Good morning, it's 10:02 a.m. and we are here with Kevin Schmidt for a facility maintenance update.
Good morning. So hope everybody is doing well.
Kevin, if we were doing any better, it would be illegal.
Oh,
So good we're doing.
let's get there. All right, so just a quick overview on everything that we've got going on. Quite a bit is happening right now. Youth services, you're aware of the move that we're doing with them to get them to Wheeler Road. There was some requests to change some lighting, so we're in there changing lighting. We're putting in some LED lighting with dimmer switches so they can brighten or dim as they need. So there'll be 5 offices that we'll be changing those lights in. I'm assuming that at some point, WSU will see that and probably ask for the same type of lighting in some of their offices as well. It makes it nice for the employees. They can adjust the light to where they need. And they had a person that, as we're moving in there, we're getting requests to change things. And that was one of the big ones that they said they had a person that was getting headaches if the light wasn't bright enough. So we kind of made sure that they could adjust it to where they need to in each of those offices. So to avoid those types of situations. Windows, we'll be looking at that here in the near future. They have one internal one that they've requested be opened up by the front lobby. So I'll get somebody in there to see what it'll take to get a pane of glass. It should be tempered glass so it, it doesn't shatter and fragment. And we'll see about getting that reinstalled into that lobby. And then we'll look at having an engineer architect look at the exterior of the building for exterior windows as well. We won't get some of the painting done with changing out the fixtures. There's some things that we would paint and patch and redo, but because of the time crunch that we're under, we're gonna just try to figure out a time to come back in there and do those things for them. We've also moved furniture up there, helping them move those types of items. We've also had some additional desks that were requested, and we had some in our inventory that we were able to supply to them to make sure their offices are furnished the way they want. So lots going on there. Trying to manage the change requests that they're putting out there for things that they want. So, it hasn't been anything really huge at this point as far as an expense, but, we're kind of talking with them, working with them to make sure everything's the way they want it when we're done. So we made them aware, like the windows and stuff, that could be a little farther down the road before they get them. But we're looking into it and we'll get costs for that. And then we can make a decision on how the county wants to proceed on that. So part of that, for the windows is that we put out a request for qualifications. Those submittals are supposed to be back in today. So this was the deadline for submitting their qualifications for the architectural and engineering services for an on-call roster for us. And once we have that, there's projects coming in that we can use these services to help us tell us what we can and can't do. So we have a request from Public Works to build an additional break room underneath the mechanical mezzanine, which requires moving a stairway. So we want to have somebody look at that and say, if you take this off, how does that impact that mezzanine and the loading on it? Obviously, this building at Wheeler Road will be another one. They can take a look at the exterior of the building and see what we can do to cut windows in and make sure we're not doing anything on the structure on that as well. So it'd be nice to have that roster that we can use without having to go out to RFQs or RFPs or RFBs every time we want to do a project and we need their services to help with things like this. We should have the timeline for that is we're going to score that next week, and then we'll make our decision on the rosters on who's going to be on there. Part of that team, we've got a couple people from Renew that were interested in being on that evaluation team. There'll be myself. I don't know if Tom's going to have time to do it, but he'll be invited. But we'll keep everybody posted as what that is when we're completed. Public Works, Abel's transitioning into his position as site supervisor. Him and Eli are figuring some things out and working through PMs and looking at the assets, making sure everything is in our CMMS as it should be. We're finding gaps in there and we're trying to close those up and firm things up and make sure the PMs that we have in there are the correct ones. Somebody grabs a PM, they should be able to basically, in my background, it should almost be like a teaching tool. You should be able to go look at it and say, oh, I got to inspect doors. So I need to check rollers. I need to check the rails. I need to check the drive tension. I need to make sure the panels are in good condition. Door seals are good. We'll get those types of things into it so that the next person, you know, they don't go through this whole training regimen. They can look at that and go, oh, this is what I do to do it, right? So same with the fuel system, air compressors. There's kind of a working with John and Andy on who is going to take care of some of these equipment in the shops. There's kind of a gray area in there. So like the lifts, your cranes, things like that that are doing work where the technicians, the shop technicians are working underneath this equipment. And I think where we're positioned at right now is that maintenance will take care of all the infrastructure type things such as the compressors, the lighting, HVAC, and they will take care of anything that they physically touch and operate.
I would think that anything like machinery and equipment, that is theirs.
Yes. Well, so I'm talking like the lifts where they put trucks on and raise it up and down. So if I'm the person working underneath that, to me, I want to know this thing was taken care of.
Yeah.
It's so, to me, it seems like a good fit. And I think John and Andy are on there. We talked about it again last week. And, you know, I think we just need to firm it up in a letter or some kind of memorialization that it's clear in the future so that somebody doesn't have this discussion all over again and say, I don't know who owns that, right? So who takes care of it? So we're getting that cleared up. John and Andy have been great to work with. So it's been a good, I think a good partnership. And I think a lot of work orders are getting done in there and a lot of things getting, you know, hopefully if you were to take a tour again, you'd hear less complaints about lighting and things like that. I mean, you know, Eli's been working hard. He's been a great asset for the county since we've hired him. He's a go-getter. So I think with him and Abel up there, it's going to be great. It's going to be good.
Yeah, it's already better.
So the next
They
one.
said the relationship with you guys has improved a lot since Abel has gone in there.
Yeah, he's a good dude. So he will definitely spend time with the people, talk with them, and make sure we're getting their needs taken care of. There's still some goofy things out there, and there might be some fairly pricey fixes. I know we found some compressors that need some help. Air compressors, their one is from 1975, so it's old as dirt. And there's a spare sitting up on the mezzanine, so we're going to try and take that down.
So they're just waiting for it to break.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's almost as old as I am. So, but there's a spare sitting there, and we just want to take a look at that. We had a technician come and check a couple of these because they were in pretty rough shape. And he was like, he says, I'm just going to tell you that one's in poor condition. And he said, I don't even think you can service it. And he said, I'm not even give you a quote to service it. So it looks like they kind of, you know, knew that might be coming down the road. So there's a spare sitting there. We're just going to make sure it's the right one for that application. Site supervisor for the sheriff's facilities. That posting closes tonight. So far, it's an internal posting. There's one applicant, and we will be working on doing that interview, if not later this week, early next week. And so we'll see where that lands, and hopefully we fill that position as well and start guiding that a little more the way we need it to go with this new building going up. So dedicate somebody to, again, work on PMs, getting all the assets into CMMS, all that fun work, getting in there, commissioning. There's just going to be a ton of stuff that's going to be coming down the road on this new building that we should have somebody locked arms with the contractors here in the next few months to understand what's happening, how it's put in, how it operates. It's going to be a big undertaking with everything going on in there. Museum, I do have a quote for survey on that property. And one question, I guess I need to dive into it just a little bit deeper to understand some things, but that's kind of a funny property because the museum is actually a bunch of little properties. There's one major, and then there's like 5 other little lots in there. So if you were to go down the street here, you would look at the buildings when they were old, they were narrow and long, and that's how the lots are. And so it's all part of the museum property. The proposal is that we can get the front done for placing the sign for about $3,200, and that's just the fees to do the survey, or for $3,800, he's proposing he does the outline of all the properties, and then he does a recording fee with that, but it's only $600 more to finish that off. So I think in my opinion, I would go ahead and do the $3,800 and get it done, and then it's done, right? We don't have to pay him another $3,800, come back and do it again. It's all one cost, done, recorded.
Who's doing it?
The quote I got here is from Grant County Surveying,
Okay.
and then that will give us a path forward for that
I'm
sign.
definitely in favor. If it's 32, let's do 38, and then we have everything.
Okay.
I agree, just make sure they file the report.
Yeah, and that was part
I
of,
had it done on one of ours and they didn't file the report, and now I'm like, do I have to do it again? But
I don't know if they file or they give it to us to file.
they filed.
yeah, so his cost is the $3,800, and the recording fees are not included in there, so whatever recording fees are on top of that.
Okay.
So other than that, that gets me to our time. If you got any questions or anything that you would like to ask me,
All that you do.
well, you're more than welcome.
Everything looking and working well. So thank you.
I hope so. That's what we're here to do.
Well, you do a great job. Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Hello, Joe.
Next.
Morning.
Good morning.
It is 10:15 and we are going to roll into our TS update.
Thank you.
Thank you. Dang, that's a lot of tickets, huh?
It's been a few.
Oh, that 11,000's not for the week.
No,
I was like,
Nope, since we moved to software as a service.
no.
When we moved to software as a service, we lost a lot of statistics at that time too.
Yeah, because it all started from scratch, so we're probably
Yep.
in 50, 60, 70,000 ticket range for our
Easy,
all time, so.
easy.
All right, are we ready to go?
yep, you're good.
All right, so, first thing I got on my list here is the Gorge substation deployment. GCTS will be deploying all the network and computer hardware back out to the Gorge Amphitheater Campground this coming week. We've been making arrangements with Chief Deputy Josh Sainsbury to get everything back online. This is something that we do annually. We deploy in the spring and tear down in the fall to help ensure that hardware is not stolen or vandalized in the off season. It's usually pretty uneventful, so we'll get everything out there, get everything back online. Another update for the fairgrounds cameras.
Okay, sorry, where do you put it at? Do you put it in that trailer out there?
Yeah,
or-
there's the north campground there, where the substation is. Yeah. There's a fiber gateway that's just near there that we get plugged into, so.
You should call it an office, not a trailer. Okay.
Yeah, it's a job trailer. It's like exactly a job trailer like they would use on a construction site, so.
It looks like a duck, walks like a duck.
Fairgrounds cameras, all the cameras for the north half of the are done. So there are a total of 38 on the north half. We have consolidated barn 44 and 45 into the fair office and shop, dropping a port charge from barn 44, 45. We've consolidated the Harwood and Greengate into the Ardell building, dropping a port charge from the Harwood. Ricky and Luke have started on the south half. They're in the process of installing NVRs and other network hardware in the sheriff's booth. And so we can concentrate all those cameras there. So there's a network rack that we have there in the sheriff's booth that wasn't going to be big enough. So we bought a new standing rack to put everything in. And so they're getting all that geared up because the NVRs needed to have a place to live. So we went ahead and did that, make it nicer, so and cleaner. So it's one of the few buildings that gets used weirdly frequently, but not, and we just wanted it to look nice. So next week, well, coming up soon, we're going to be doing an important Microsoft license renewal. So expect to see that as a consent item here pretty soon. What I'm trying to do is we're going to make a change. The current system is the Office 365, which we have like with our email and all of our basic Office products. And we're going to be jumping to Microsoft 365 Enterprise. This allows us to consolidate PDQ, which is a software we use for deploying computers, Mirador, which is our
Mobile device
management. And TeamViewer, which is what we use for remote connection to people's computers to work on them. All of those applications are going to get brought into the Microsoft universe so that we can do all that there. And it gives us it's like a paradigm shift in our ability to do security stuff. So we'll get Windows 365 included in the package. It gives us a huge ability to control people's workstations. And this is something that the guys have wanted for decades.
Security-wise, it gives us better insight to the built-in Windows Defender antivirus and all that. So
there'll be a portal for Windows Defender, so we'll be able to actually bring you better stats for computers type stuff in that regard. It's going to be kind of a big thing for us mostly, and there are features that will help. The security features help the county, and we're consolidating these other things down to make it as budget neutral as humanly possible. I'm taking a portion of 3505 from the direct TS budget to help kind of carry it across the finish line. I feel that important about this. So it's a big thing that I really feel like we should do. So I told Vanessa to go ahead and proceed with it. So you guys should see it next week. It'll be big. It's going to be like 346, and you guys are going to go, oh, just understand I've taken some other things from some other places. So in the end, it's more of a wash than it looks like. So the vital sign sensor for the jail, we talked about in earlier updates, that has now been installed. They're in the phase now of getting corrections deputies logged into it and teaching them how the dashboard works and everything. Apparently the installation went really well. The vendor was very gracious in their synopsis of how things went. They thought that we all did good, the jail and our staff and getting things prepared and ready for them. So they were very grateful for that. On to email and web stats. So in the last week, email for Barracuda, we had 56,000 total emails. We blocked 8,000 in quarantine, and no virus emails were detected this time around. 8,000. And then for web and umbrella, we blocked 2,100 websites out of 22 million hits. 14 blocks were categorized as security related. Of those, most were sites linked to phishing and malware. A few were newly seen sites that were blocked because they've not had time to develop a proper reputation. So they might end up being okay. And I guess the last thing I have is I've got Ricky, Luke, and Jeremy have all started their PDA training this week. They were getting ready for it last week, and it looks like they are all concentrating on getting that done. So they've all been talking to me about it quite a bit and like, hey, we got to do our thing. I'm like, yeah, you got to do your thing. So they're getting into it, and I'm very happy that they're embracing it. And then we'll have Alex and Luke in the fall. So.
And speed up the videos. You can speed them up to 1.5
Yes.
times.
Yes.
Yeah, we normally watch them at about 1.25, 1.5.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I do 1.5. The really slow speakers.
Some of them are.
Some of them are.
And some of them, you can't do that.
Yeah, some of them you gotta reel it back.
But it's a good training.
Yeah.
Yes, it's valuable. On the help desk side, we had a bit of an uptick on our tickets. It's fun seeing these statistics because now we can correlate them to different events that happen over the week. So last Thursday, if you guys noticed, Decorah sent out an email warning everybody that there would be an email coming related to the local gov university
Yeah, I thought.
email.
Yeah.
Yep, and it's amazing how many people do not read their emails because we got a lot of people who forwarded that ticket or that email to help desk because they were concerned it was a phishing attempt. Kudos on them that they want to check. We would prefer that they do that, but so we had an uptick on tickets because of that. Otherwise, it's been a fairly normal week. I do want to identify a few kudos, though. Alex, working with Tina in HR, they identified a shared mailbox issue where if they receive an encrypted email or an email that is flagged as a private email, that they couldn't see it in the regular Outlook inbox. And we identified workarounds and a resolution to that problem. So with Alex's help, we got that applied. We got it identified and we applied the change. And then last Friday, Seth intercepted and removed a phishing email that got past our Barracuda. It had 26 recipients. Lori Buchanan was the only person who reported it. But we got it blocked and removed from everybody's mailboxes before anybody else was able to get phished. So kudos to Lori and good work on Seth. And then additionally, the Public Works training room is complete as far as it's going to be until they get their video conferencing equipment, which I believe I need to follow up with Andy and find out where they are on that. That's one of the things that they need to follow up on. So Avidex came in and did the installation. Seth, Evan, and Jeremy were out there last week getting trained on how it works. That's all I have for you today.
I had one other thing, Josh in the mailroom. So we've had him doing a couple little training things and helping out with general stuff in the department. We feel like we might be kind of in a lull or coming up on a lull. So Keith has been having him do some laserfish training, like end user laserfish type stuff, not like, flows or forms or anything like that. We were hoping that we could get him to a point where he could start scanning DOCC office files that have been needed to be scanned forever. So that keeps everything, between TS and the board and, the two departments. So we might kick him back down to you guys here for a little bit, just to, stay busy and all that good stuff. So trying to make sure that he's getting that training for that. And then I had him do some network stuff because I'm a network guy. So of course I'm going to throw network stuff at him, and Keith's a software guy. So he's throwing software stuff at him.
Great.
So.
But yeah, the plan is though, is if we can get him trained up with laserfish, then he becomes a lot more valuable to not just your department, but anywhere else. So because I know
Be careful anywhere else. I don't want them leaving
Well-
Grant County.
well,
Anywhere else.
laserfish, while it is a very popular document management system, it is mostly targeted towards government agencies. And so the chances of losing him to another agency, he'd have to be moving
Well,
anyway.
I'm just scared, yeah.
Yeah.
No, that will be great.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
Help throughout
we
the
know
year.
that Barb could definitely use help with getting caught up on that backlog of documents that need to be scanned.
And we don't always, we have stuff for him to do sometimes, but it's that hour and a half is kind of weird because unless it's just like really kind of menial kind of things, it's hard to get him into something that he's got to, pay a lot of attention to because it usually takes more than an hour and a half. So we're just trying to find some spaces where he
Well,
can
and
fill
he thought
in.
he had a lull too right after lunch,
Yeah.
Yep.
kind of
Okay.
after
Yep.
lunch. And I am just so grateful he's willing to,
Yep.
like commit to additional
Yeah.
duties.
Yep.
So it
No,
was-
totally.
So,
understand
so
that.
with the laserfish training, like I said, we think it's the most valuable. And then we also have tracking on there, so I can keep up, make sure he's actually getting it done. So if we don't have any grunt work for him to do, then he should be studying.
Yeah.
So
We're doing our best to fill
And
it
I
up.
think our
Council
office, I
time.
thought we were kind of caught up on scanning. Maybe
I
not.
don't know. I was planning to get with Barb and find out what exactly she had, but I do know that there's constant things that need to be scanned.
Yeah.
And
I think we
there's,
should kind of,
you guys have all sorts of filing cabinets in that back room.
yeah, well,
That
now
we
I'm
would like
curious.
to make go away.
Barb, did we ever
I'll-
catch up on our scanning previously?
We sure are.
We are?
There you go.
Okay.
So, yeah, I think.
So I was working on old data, Barb, and I apologize for that. But still, getting him versed in laserfish should be a benefit to you guys.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think there was a big push. Barb wanted to get caught up, so.
Jeremy did order a bunch more stuff, so hopefully when that gets in, he certainly can help with building those systems and getting them done. So we're getting him kind of trained on how to build computers and whatnot. There's phases where he can do stuff where he doesn't have to have any special privileges, and then there's a step right after that where he has to have some more special privileges, and we want to make sure he does this part really well before we kick him over to the next part, so.
Okay. Well, I'm glad it's an hour and a half here and there starts adding up.
Yeah.
It does.
Did you guys have any questions or?
No, thanks for keeping all of our systems rolling. And I will get some bigger glasses so I can read what these are.
I apologize for that. I'll try to fix the font sizes on those
No,
for
it's
next
good to
time.
see that.
It looked fine on a computer screen, but then as I printed it.
Some impressive tickets, and not just the tickets that come in, but the ability that you guys are repairing these or fixing them.
One real quick last thing.
Closing the ticket.
Yeah, we learned recently that our level of technicians exceeded a count for Spiceworks. So Spiceworks has been free forever. They have finally decided that they're going to start charging for it. It'll be $77 a month for all of our technicians, so less than $1,000 a year for us to keep our help desk system. So it's not like it's, taking us to the cleaners. They have been free to us for a decade. So we have definitely gotten,
Money's worth.
money's worth out of them. When they actually came to visit us one time, a long time ago, because we were one of their largest users and they couldn't believe how many devices we had in the system and all that, they were kind of freaked out about it. So now that it's a hosted service by them, the stability's gotten much better and ads have left Spiceworks. We're all very happy about that. And there's no more ads to look at. So that's it.
Okay, well, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, we'll go on recess until 10:45. Good morning, it's 10:47 a.m. and we are here for a commissioner work session. Cindy, you said you had an item for the work session?
Yes, I met with Pam from South County. She gave me an application here, I have it right here, about joining the chamber. She would like the Grant County or Grant County Commissioner's Office to join the South Grant County Chamber of Commerce. And so I've got an application right here. If we want to join, it is, I want to say it's $75. If I see it here. I don't know if we join chambers. Oh, it's $65 a year. $35 individually, $65 for a business or a public agency or nonprofit.
I'm surprised that we don't. Are we members of the chambers at all?
Barb, are we chamber members?
We are not.
Wait, not yet. Probably is a good thing to be involved in the county.
I'm a chamber member in Ephrata and Moses Lake.
Yes, I will now be a chamber of this one personally, and she just wants the county to be a member as well. Pam's out there recruiting, and I had a great visit with her last week, so
I wouldn't have a problem with it. It's a good idea. We don't, especially South County, it seems like they all think we don't care about them and
But we do. And they're getting roundabouts and they're getting some, updates in their
we have a
development.
lot of taxpayers down there that don't live in our area, but
They feel
they still
slighted.
pay taxes.
Yeah. So this would probably come out of miscellaneous general government then? Would be dues and I guess it could come out of our office, but I would think that it's miscellaneous general government.
I wouldn't have a problem.
Rob?
Yeah, if it's allowable, I'm fine with it. I just don't, if we're not doing it or haven't done it, I would just want to make sure.
Let me look and see, because our membership is usually under miscellaneous general government. We do membership with the, what's the water? Drawing blank. Irrigation water.
Here?
No. They're working on the Odessa
Oh, at the Columbia Basin Development League.
Development League. We were members with that.
We're not members with that anymore, right?
I thought we had a $5,000 membership. I don't know. Wait. No, I don't have an itemized list of it. I don't know if we're members.
So do you want me to put in the minutes that the board approved the request to join the South Grant County Chamber of Commerce?
Do you want to do it now or do you want us to put it through the consent agenda?
Since it's such a minimal amount, it's under the $5,000 requirement. It's just $65, so.
Is there a nod? Yes,
Yeah.
no?
Yeah,
Yes,
I agree.
Yeah.
yes. And it may be the first of others that will be coming.
Okay, if you could bring that up, Cindy, that'd be great.
Well, thank you, Barb.
Our pre-app meeting went well on the Morgan property, so forward on that. Get that going.
Good news.
Finally,
Great news.
we'll see. Hopefully they get back to me and say yes.
Everybody says yes to you. It will happen.
We'll see.
Don't forget your property taxes are due.
We did that yesterday, remember?
I haven't paid them yet.
Oh, shame on you. I did that yesterday.
You can wait till 4:59 and go walk in.
I just keep forgetting.
Or
It's
go to the
tomorrow, right?
post office before they close and
It
get
is
a date
tomorrow.
stamp on the envelope. But don't drop it in, you have to get the date stamp. And that's all I have. I don't have anything else.
Okay.
Cindy, can you write on that invoice where you want the funding to come from,
I
please?
did, yes. So
Awesome.
they just, so I put miscellaneous general government dues.
Thank you.
Any other items?
I don't have anything else.
Okay. So our next meeting will be budget finance. I'm going to leave probably in like 10 minutes, probably right when that one starts. So I'm going to go remote. I have to be at the summit deal at 12:30 and I have something I have to do before I go to that. So I will be remote at 11. We'll go into recess until 11 a.m.
Good morning, it is 11:01. We are here for our budget and finance meeting. We have Michelle Gaberlin, Mandy, and Gary. Welcome.
Carrie, you can borrow mine.
Barb, can I forward that email? I'm sure I can to Mandy. I was just talking about the budget book. What county was that put that budget book together?
That was Grays Harbor County.
I'm gonna send it to you. It was pretty impressive. But the clerk's office put it together, not the auditor's office.
Oh.
Barb.
I know, Barb's probably not looking for a new job, but I'm gonna send it to you because I was, yeah.
It's pretty impressive.
Well, I like mine.
But if
Oh,
we
I
can
really
learn
like
something
mine.
new that's
No, thank you.
better.
I just thought when you see something, it was. Yeah. Oh darn it, I can't pull it up.
Is this like the initial copy? No, I won't breathe on it.
This is mine.
Don't hold your breath all the time.
Don't bark on it.
Wow, this chair is like,
Do you want,
No, I
oh,
keep
I don't know why that one got thrown there. You can move it.
I'm sliding off.
So the idea being in the future months, I have the special
Sorry, I'm gonna CC you on this.
hole punch and I'll tab them and give them to you and you can just insert them in the book.
Wonderful. Oh, gosh. Okay. Fancy. Oh, they just slide right in. Okay, Carrie, Michelle, Mandy, I just sent you, there's a link to look at their web. And they put it in their book for us, so. I think that's kinda cool. All right, so I'm in charge. So Rob had to go to a Regional Data Center Summit since he's part of the panel. So I guess I will be filling in for him for the Finance Committee. Is that what we have first, the Finance Committee meeting? Okay.
Yep.
Darrell, the show is yours.
All right. So we've had some activity go on this month. So we have a bunch of calls. What's in green is things that are called or maturing. At the very top, we're finally going to get rid of some coupons that actually are less than the coupon rates. We had to buy it at a discount, so we're not getting even those rates. We're getting it for much less. It'll good to start getting these low item value items out of our portfolio, which will raise our yield when we replace that with investing in things with a much higher rate. So we made some purchases. Those are in red down below. So so that we can start replacing stuff and seeing how long it goes, depending on if there's rate cuts or how much the rates change. The rates have changed. Unfortunately, after we had our pricing, long-term rates have dropped a lot since then. So if we were a week later, we would have had a probably better yield from our bond close. It's just horrible timing of when ours came up to price. But then when you ask the question, can we delay this? We had no idea what the markets are going to do in just 1 week's time. Gosh, this issue has been just a disaster and bad timing for us. So right now I guess we'll start. Actually, I overpassed the very beginning, which was approval of the minutes. We have minutes for both February and March. Do I have a motion to approve the minutes for February? And do I have a motion? I'll move that we approve the minutes of that meeting. Rob is not here, so then Michelle, I need a second. I have a second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. And Michelle says
Aye.
okay.
I'm writing.
I'm
writing.
And so the February minutes have been approved. Then we have the minutes for March that we have. And so we have I move to approve the minutes for March. And do I have a second? We have a second. All those in favor? And we have a second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Okay. So that part is now done. And we're caught up.
I thought you were doing it in a one-shot deal because I wrote both, because you said both.
Yeah.
And then you switched it up.
Well,
on me.
I began thinking that I didn't think I was allowed to do that under Robert's Rules of Order, so I broke it up. Okay.
Do I have a question?
Yep.
If we bought those at a discount, how come you said we weren't losing money on the sale of them?
We paid we paid a premium for those rates. So we have a negative amortization that goes against the interest, accrued interest, to be a net of around 0.8% versus is less than 1%. So that's the impact monthly, is the amortization that you're whittling down, and then the interest that is the positive, the amortization is the negative, and the net is a difference, a positive number, but it's only a yield of around 0.8 for those two that's finally maturing on May 1st. And that'll be the same for all the other ones that have rates that are under 1%. Because those, we pay close to not much of a premium or discount. This was the ones that had the biggest premium that we had to pay up front to get these rates and then amortize that premium down. So.
And now you're gonna reinvest in a higher yield.
Yeah, in just the state pool's at 4.3 plus, so.
What's your pool?
2 point, well, it says
No,
on
I'm looking
here,
at the interest rates today.
2.472. And so, and a lot of our rate is lower is, first thing is, it's, our pool does not beat the state pool during an inverted yield curve, which usually happens 2 or 3 years out of 10 years. This one's getting close to 3 and getting closer to being a normal yield curve again.
I have no idea what you just said, Daryl.
An inverted yield curve means the short end is higher than the long end, or it goes down and then back up a little bit. A normal yield curve just goes like this.
What sets the curve?
Rates are low, rates for the short are low, and it gets higher and higher the longer you invest. But inverted means interest rates are high on the short end, and it gets lower the longer you invest.
Those are the ones you just sold?
Well, the ones that are maturing are just finally maturing after 4 years. We've had this investment in it was great for a year, and then when the interest rates started going up.
It inverted.
Well, the inverted yield curve is irregardless of this investments.
Okay.
So when we get out of this yield curve, then we will be in the normal yield curve where it's easy. The longer you invest, the higher the rate. So, and that's investors like that yield curve.
I thought we couldn't do longer than 3 years.
No, we can't. We can do up to 5 years.
Oh.
I just choose to be around 3.
Daryl?
Yes.
You have a lot of these that say don't. It says continue call or
Right.
CUNG call. What is it?
Continuous call means when a call date happens, it's either a monthly, quarterly, continuous, or one time. So that means on the continuously callables, that means at any time they can call it.
Okay.
Quarterly means if they don't meet a certain date, then I get it definitely for another 3 months. Monthly, if they don't call it within a certain time, then I get it for another month. And every month, we have that risk, we have call risk.
Okay.
I invest for the call risk. Because if we don't have it called, then we did better. There's a premium for call risk. The more call risk you have, the higher the coupon. So treasury bills don't have calls. They're just bullets. And bullets mean just start and end. No calls in the middle. I don't buy those. So so what we have is reinvestment risk. And so I have a yield and the rates go down, then I have a new rate to get that's less than what I was getting before and invest it for that time period.
Do you have a cheat sheet for your investment methodology?
No.
Right here,
When he's leaving in 2 years, what am I gonna do?
we're gonna hire him as the investment.
Oh, Gary and I are talking about all the decisions we're making.
There's a
Gary's our new
transfer of the
investor.
chart from Daryl's mind to Gary.
Just up to, I don't know about that.
From all the paperwork, the things we're getting the emails on a daily basis of all the things that are trying to sold to us, and normally we just don't have it's not anything exciting to buy.
It's okay, Karen. We just put it all in the state pool.
All the state pool.
So Daryl, like, have you ever thought about a transition, as you're transitioning out, maybe working an hour or two a day to help with the?
No.
No.
Oh, he's gonna be
You
a
mean
phone
like
call away
the-
forever.
Are we transitioning on a prosecuting attorney?
We started out our day like that.
That was a surprise, yeah, I didn't read the email. Then when we got it, it was upside down, so I'm like.
I know, it was upside down, you had to flip it around, I was like,
Well, it's probably a good thing it was upside down. Right?
Well, are we
I really wanted to-
transitioning to you guys running the jail?
That's Franklin County did
Yes,
that.
I know that. And the
I
same
know,
thing,
the
and
question
it
was,
happened in
crisis,
Chelan
who's gonna
County.
get a call at 2
Chelan
a.m.?
County commissioners control the jail. So. Nope, it's-
There has been no discussion, I just want
times
to
are
correct,
changing.
of the commissioners.
Yeah, but not far.
As
I
we
don't
go.
know, when you have problems doing a budget and be that far off, something's gotta change. So, if.
That's for another day.
Yep. All right, so the revenues down below, sales tax, it's above last year. What we have is the countywide and the county rates are ahead of last year. We're still around about 2.5% countywide, less than last year in sales tax. But for the county current expense, we're up 12%. So what that means is when we're up and the rest of the other countywides are down, that means the cities are down. And we're doing better. But this annexation ain't gonna help us. And all of a sudden, we're gonna be a loser on that. And I wasn't budgeting to have this annexation happen this fast for sales tax revenue. So we'll be impacted on that project. And so hopefully there's a lot of bills that get billed that are for the time period that will have the correct sales tax rate on it. For the time period that it was still in the county, because they'll pay a less sales tax.
And what annexation is that in Moses Lake?
No, the city of Freda annexing your jail property,
Oh,
effective 4 days from 27th. I think
do we have to?
5 days from the
Yeah, but I
27th.
thought the applicant has to want to. Is it because we're using their sewer and water?
That was the agreement, I think.
That was, see, we had an agreement that we'd annex. And we were hoping that would happen after the jail's built. But now the city is saying, we need that sales tax.
If I were the city, I'd want it too.
But I think there was other reasons behind it as well.
We didn't have a written agreement for the date?
No.
Well, in order for us, there was things that had to happen in order
To get it
for
there.
things to continue to move forward. That's the reason.
Unless this is a roundabout issue.
There's several things.
So, the law and justice monies came in, finally, I mean, I'd be actually on budget for law and justice this year. For that 300,000 every quarter. Hotel motel tax, actually, haven't researched yet, but there was a big refund made to someone for the hotel motel tax. And so that was reflected in this month's number. It shows just 10,000. Supposedly it was a big refund. So our number would have been ahead of last year as well.
What triggers a refund?
What do you want to pay?
Someone claimed that they didn't owe the money and Department of Revenue agrees.
And how do you catch wind of that?
They called me,
Oh, of course.
but they couldn't tell me
Because
who
you're
it
only
was.
calling them.
But then I have access to the data to figure it out.
Probably somebody pretty big to.
But then unfortunately, that data's, well, whoever signed the agreement would know, able to know that information.
Did it
For,
already come through?
that was effective this month, so when the reports come out for the sales tax distribution, I can figure out who that
I
was.
can take a
got
wild
refunded.
guess on it, but,
So
Interesting.
because most people are $10,000.
Is the refund from this year or last year?
it's for multiple years.
Oh.
So I don't know. For multiple years, I don't know if they were calculating it wrong.
Hmm.
remitted too much. Well, obviously remitted too much,
More to come on that one.
but the problem is
them
they
to
remitted too much, then maybe they collected too
back.
much and then their customers should be the one that
Yeah.
gets the money back and not them.
Right, right. At least some of it anyway.
The
What
customer
data?
probably will never know.
I know.
Hopefully they do.
It's usually the way it works.
I thought they would.
So interest and penalties is ahead, property taxes, we're ahead of last year. But we had the timing of a foreclosure sale happening and other things happening. Investment interest, we're behind last year because we don't have as much money that we're investing to our benefit. You know, the jail fund is a lot less money and other funds. So our revenue's down for that, plus the interest rates are down. The excise tax was down compared to last year, but we're ahead. And actually, I just turned in the report just 15 minutes ago, 20 minutes ago, to the state. Our volume of REIT transactions was up to 350, where we're averaging around 320. So our activity in the of ownership changes is starting to increase again.
Spring.
So we're going to get more activity, and so we get the local tax out of that, and we get the our admin fee out of that money. So the tax statements did get mailed out on March 31st. This year we have actually, even though we had address cleanup, we have more tax statements returned as bad addresses than prior years. And we have a lot of people that said they didn't get the statement. That was
Did you
mailed
mail it out? 'Cause I don't think I
from
got mine.
Arizona. It got mailed out from Arizona. And 97% of the post offices have received it on March 31st or April 1st. And there was a lot of people with P.O. boxes who said they didn't get it. But then one person doesn't check his P.O. box yesterday, and it may have been overflow. And so, but if he hasn't gone to his P.O. box in a while, I don't know how we can get tax statements to people who don't go get their mail and then complain about it. So,
You can only control.
Unfortunately, I probably have mine. I'm just hoping mine didn't come, but they probably are there.
so, yeah, we had a warning from US Bank on a warrant that got intercepted in the mail. They think it was in the mail while still in the post office, that a bunch of mail in the post office got stolen.
It was a group.
You're right, there's a group of,
Oh.
which McKay was paying $11,000 to a vendor. So we alerted McKay to, they only to reissue, of course, we cancel, it gets canceled, and then on positive pay, it'll get an exception.
Yeah.
And get rejected.
So it worked.
So
It's good.
So all these things that happened, but it hasn't been cashed yet. What happened is this warrant was this was intercepted, and then on the dark web, they were trying to sell it, this image, to someone who then alters it and sends it.
So the bank notified us.
Yeah, so
That's
the
great.
bank became aware of it somehow. I don't know if the post office, if they, whatever was stolen. So the bank notified, this is rare when the bank notifies us ahead of time that this is out there. And so, again, this post office problems. I keep telling people, you can put a stamp on an envelope and mail it to us, or it'd probably be cheaper and more secure if you do an e-check online, where the cost is the same, and you get an email saying we got it. It's such a more secure option for people if you don't trust the post office. So, but the next issue on that is Point and Pay is wanting to raise that price, but I've ignored them, and we haven't had a conversation since on e-check.
Delete.
No. Gerald,
What?
so is it till the end of the day to go online? If I wanted to wait till the last minute, is it like 11:59 a.m. you have to pay your taxes?
11:59 p.m. PM.
Oh, I'm sorry, PM.
And Daryl doesn't like that.
I don't like it.
Wow.
Yes, you can.
So
I wouldn't
maybe
wait
you
that
should
long,
do
but
it at that
maybe I'd do it
time.
at 9. Yeah.
I would not push
I
that
would probably be
time,
like, this is an Arizona time.
but it's also drives me
Yeah.
crazy about
That'd be my, like,
April
something would
30th at
happen.
midnight at the Dropbox. Unfortunately, I'm not gonna come here to the Dropbox. We don't have a mechanism to shut it down and
Oh,
clamp
so
it
you'll just
down,
get it like
so
at 8
people
a.m.
could actually pay early in the morning on May 1st and still be current.
That's good to know.
And Carrie is the one that goes, picks that up every morning, and
So
time,
you get
Carrie?
to work at Carrie. She'll get to work
The
extra.
one on top, I bet it was late.
You put it in and then pick it.
well, now you need to be bringing a container
I
to,
know.
because you're getting a lot of payments in the Dropbox.
Yeah, I saw somebody driving.
So I wanted Carrie to talk about our check reader process, and we've been keeping you up to date, but I want to tell you how we are now fully functional. So go ahead, Carrie, and explain how things went. This process was not fun.
Well, you don't know what you don't know, you know?
Oh, I know. You know.
And
No, we
so,
don't.
yeah, the getting it started was a little rough. But now it's complete game changer. We were going through, like, if I could give you eyes, a flat of mail. Somebody would take a chunk and it would take them about an hour and a half to process that chunk. We can do an entire flat of mail in like 4 hours. If, everything goes smoothly. But it's a game changer. I think we're up to date. Yesterday we had,
Last
it
year
was
you
Monday.
guys had,
It was-
drove to the vault and it was just like, you didn't have
Yes.
to bin after.
Yes, and we had one of our staff, she almost started crying. She's like, oh, we're never gonna get through it. But last year we were working on mail clear until the end of May. And right now we're current. We're like up to date.
Oh, no. So when you pay your property taxes, make sure you have money in the account. You don't
Yeah.
have until the end of May.
That has been discussion at the counter. No
Because,
discretion.
yes, we have had a lot of NSFs as well, because.
I don't think as many
Well,
as last year.
we just had a whole chunk this last 2 days.
Yeah.
So,
But yeah,
Oh,
I
that's
think it's
exciting.
going great.
well, the problem with last year is, because it wasn't processed so fast, we're sitting on checks. And
Okay,
people
so-
forgot that they don't keep track of their checkbook and think the check's cashed, and they see this balance and they spend it.
Yeah, they're like, ooh.
They don't keep a running balance of their checkbook to not spend money. They just go look at the bank and see numbers and, but I'm assuming every check I've done is cashed. And that's
So
not
what
a good
software-
practice.
Cheryl, you told me you don't even know when you get paid.
I say that pay dates are always things that don't come into mind.
For you.
I know. Everyone else seems to be focused on payroll dates, and for me, it's just another date. It's just something where I'm not.
How many check readers do you have?
Just one.
Well, we have
Well,
two.
technically we have two, but we retired the old one.
So you put it through a check reader?
This is,
How much is it to have like one in each person's desk?
Oh, heck no.
Oh,
The
no.
license on that is ridiculous.
Oh, really?
Like this one, he was telling me today how much this whole thing wrapped up in cost, and it was, what, 35?
right, yeah, we budgeted 25,000. But the problem is when I asked TS what their cost would be, they thought they could use a current server and then the license to go with it. Well, then they realized they needed a whole new server and all the SQL licenses, and so this ends up being 35,000 versus what I went to for 25,000.
Okay, what's the software you're using?
This is,
What is what?
this is the technology
Technology Unlimited.
TUI. The reader is 2 slots.
Well,
Go ahead.
you're separating the mail. So basically you have 2 piles. You have singles, so they have 1 coupon, 1 check, and the check stops the transaction. And so it's reading the Micker line on the bottom, which ties into packs. And so what it will do after you scan them all in, scanning all your singles, then scanning all your multiples, it then makes you a file so we can directly post it to packs. So that's the time saver.
Okay.
Someone's not having to post it to somebody's account. It's just bam, done.
Okay. 'Cause I was
And
wondering-
then when you're done doing all that, it makes another file so you can send the cash letter to the bank. So that, again, you're not having to do that part, so
Okay, so it really.
it's huge.
Wow.
What's the retention for the checks?
Didn't they say 7 years?
Okay,
Yeah.
so like it's something you have to
Well,
go back.
the
and look at.
checks,
Yeah.
After
we
you read
don't
them.
keep them that long.
Oh, how long do we keep them?
After you
2
read them.
weeks.
Oh, and then you toss them?
Yeah.
2 weeks and toss?
Yeah, we
In
shred them.
the shredder tray,
Yeah.
shredder container.
2 weeks. So we have like piles of checks in our vault right now. Oh, here's another day.
And then, of
Yeah.
course, we are able to retrieve the image of the check. in
Yeah,
case-
for 7 years.
So for when we have refunds, we then could look up, what we lost in this system that we had before was entering in who actually was on the check that paid it.
Yeah.
Now, in every refund, we have to go research who paid, who's on the check, who signed the check, to write the refund check to that person instead. And so we can't go on our system and see it. We have to go to a separate system that's.
I'm okay with it.
Okay.
How much time?
But this is what a lot of other counties have been doing for years. And then, of course, what we had to give up was the owner statement, because you have to have one single statement per parcel for the coding on the bottom to be read, and it only can read on one parcel at a time. And so there is no coding you can do for multiple parcels. There's not enough room on the bottom, and the size of that would be huge. So our statements had 3 different things. Of course, we have the tax ID. So when we have statements that are things that don't meet our 2 criteria, we just then pull those. We don't mess with them. We just manually post those. And if there are multiples, they have the tax ID is of all the parcels under the same name. And then the property ID is Pat's special number. And then geo parcel number is our old number that we need to keep forever, because that's what all the indexing is based on. Now, I had to convince Melissa that how important that number is to stay in our system, because there was no plan of how property IDs would actually be recorded. So we needed those old numbers, and we
You wanted
can't.
to get rid of them?
Yes.
Oh, goodness.
Because we need those, because the indexing needs to be forever.
Yeah.
To be able to research stuff for everyone and have these common, these parcel numbers.
Yikes.
So this is, there's so many things that feed all these offices. Unfortunately, I just this morning had a deed where we changed the address of where the send statement is. It was an easement deed, but the deed was filled out saying, have the grantee get the statements in the future. So we followed it. Well, easements, you're not supposed to do that. You're supposed to keep the same owner. So I got to tell them, when someone says to change the address on the easement, don't change the address.
No bueno.
Don't change the address, even though you're asked to do it.
Okay, Daryl, it is 11:30. We're done with our, the finance committee meeting agenda. I'm gonna transition over to Mandy and her budget with this, thank you, fabulous budget book. Thank you.
So I've included your monthly commissioner's packet in a nice new binder for you. Hopefully I'll be able to just give you the next month's with the tab, and you can just insert it going forward. Hopefully that'll allow you to keep it in one central location and be easier to reference back. But for March, up to date, things are looking on par for previous years. Revenues are down a little bit, not quite where we were at the same time last year, but not too far off, unless Gerald sees something wonky in the data.
Well, it says we're 1.1 in that ahead on revenues. Or 1 million.
Are you on this? Okay,
you're
I'm gonna really try hard to, because apparently I bounced through this and confused everybody. So Mandy, if you want, I'm gonna roll with you while you go page by page. Do this if you want to start on the page, because I kind of know what I'm looking for, but apparently I leave people in the dust, so.
Okay, gotcha.
Including
Sounds
you,
good.
probably too, Mandy, what page are you on? So let's starting a whole new Cindy, like
It wasn't a page number on
Yeah.
this.
I don't, Daryl.
He's a
I'm so
receiver,
sorry.
yeah.
I have failed you.
Here, Daryl, I will come sit with you. Do you want?
He
Oh,
has
no,
one.
no, I got,
Okay.
Yeah,
He has
it's the
one.
same.
He has
That's the
it.
same,
It's
I
the same.
just-
He just didn't get a fancy.
it wasn't a
Do you want me to
page number on the
staple it
first
for it so
page.
he doesn't get it out of
It's
order?
okay. It doesn't need a page number because it has a header. And the very first page is the summary of current expense. And it has comparative data for the last 4 years. 2025 is the top. And Daryl's right. Yes, we are $1 million ahead compared to last year, but we're at the same ratio to expenses, about 4 million under expected. So,
Your revenue's up $1 million.
yes.
Okay, just verifying.
Mhm. And I tried to isolate what the most significant area
Yeah, our
was.
cash on hand is definitely down.
Well, our cash on hand is significantly higher because we have almost, what, 10 million more than we
Oh,
did?
wait, I'm looking at the 92. Okay, so we had 14 million, now we're at 23 million. Why do we have so much cash on hand right now?
Because we were so under on expenses last year. And we haven't yet done our transfers.
Okay.
So there's about 5 million in transfers right out the
Right
gate.
here, Kevin, on the very bottom. Kevin, we're not allowed to jump through. I'm going real slow here.
Boy,
This is our cash on
you're making
hand.
me be patient.
Yes.
Yes.
Gosh.
Hey,
Page
so
by
you made
page.
a comment that I've lived through the budget and I leave people in the dust.
Just to add, we ended the year of cash over $27 million.
So, yeah, this is kind of what,
So then when you take out the 4
That's my
million
cash on hand
variance,
right now.
that was our starting
I was
cash.
looking at this, thinking we were down. But
It's just-
all right, Mandy.
Must be.
I'm with you now. I'm on the same page.
Kevin was trying to leap ahead. I trained him well.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm turning to the revenue
Okay.
page.
Yes. And so this is our current expense and revenues for to date.
Why are
Through
we
the end of
so
March.
high? Commissioner's office.
The, what?
Well, I'm just trying to figure out why we're at 1,111%.
So in this data, the highlighted ones are where we're not meeting
ARPA.
are expected. We expect to be at about 24%, and these are, the highlighted ones are under 16%.
But property taxes is your biggest cycle of revenue. And so this is we're not
So
saying
the
this is
sheriff
out of the
down,
norm
District court.
No.
for this time period.
The treasurer's office is down. Planning, sheriff, extension. Sorry. And I'm assuming HR is probably transfers from within.
And the reason for the treasurer's office compared to a year ago is you had a large foreclosure surplus amount that happened to have a sale that was in the early part of the year, 3 years ago. And that was deposited into the fund, just timing is
Oh, I was like, what are you
foreclosure
talking about?
surplus.
Got it.
When unclaimed foreclosure surplus gets transferred to the current expense fund, which then those monies just happen to be
Yep.
in the following year versus the year we normally have it in. So that was an anomaly for last year to have all that revenue go in at that time of year.
Okay, so we're,
And Carrie, how long was district court out of commission in collecting revenues?
How much do they want?
They, for a while, they weren't able
3
to
weeks,
process
3 or 4
revenues.
weeks.
Was that in the fiscal 2025? Because they're
I
highlighted
want
as
to say it
less.
was like a month.
Yeah, so that's going to impact our numbers here for them as well.
I
But
would
they
say it was
caught
in
up.
2025.
Was it 20? I
I
don't
thought it
know.
was this year.
I don't think so.
I thought it was last year.
Was it last year?
I don't even know what happened yesterday.
You
So.
know, we're almost in May. I can't believe this, but- So it could have been last May. Okay, I'm turning the page to expenditures. Kevin, you can jump forward if you want. I'm trying to.
I don't see,
Nobody is overspending.
well, that's not.
Or
Wait till you
700,000
get
less.
down.
Treasurer's
treasurer.
office, again, treasurer's office is over.
I'm just kidding.
Well, so is commissioner's office.
Well,
No,
technically,
at
we're only
24.
6,000 more that's 76, 7,000, about 7,000 more than a year ago.
Museum.
So we have wage increases and stuff like that.
Okay, for the most part, where spending is down, yay. Overtime
Yes.
summary. Andy, say something if you need to jump in. Oh my gosh, Daryl, you're just a peak performer here on this budget. Again, you're highlighted.
That's overtime.
Yeah.
You know what I do see?
But
I see this
you got
number
us the
being less than
schedule
a year
six.
ago. I see is, this number is less than last year.
Way to find the silver lining.
And plus, this also was, that because we got the Schedule 6 done practically a month faster than last.
And we so appreciate that.
Yes, we
And
should
so
highlight that.
all the overtime that was after this time into next month of last year is not happening. So
Way to
we
go, Daryl.
really pushed the
Yes.
hours
Was
to
it
get all
one
this
employee that
done.
did that, or was it several?
Mostly Connie.
And to be fair, our overtime for our department is gonna be up there probably by the next.
Well, you're not highlighted.
We just haven't gotten it through there.
Daryl
it
just has a
doesn't-
lot of highlights on this budget. Okay.
Um,
Financial summaries for other accounts.
Yeah.
You're being picked on, Daryl.
Here,
These are the same picked on as a year ago.
He's used to it.
This is-
meat and potatoes.
He can take it. Mental health revenue, I
Wow,
thought that
that's all I
was
can
down
say.
a little bit. But their cash on hand is higher, so that's probably carryover from previous year as well. What stands out to me with our other funds is going to be the self-insurance funds, a couple pages into their summary, because we are over budget. Technically not over budget for 504, but over budget from all the other funds that have to contribute to the self-insurance.
504 or
503.
503.
The one that's
Okay,
like got the
okay.
huge
The
number.
negative five,
Okay, 504, 503.
503. I meant 503.
And that's health insurance?
Seen the transfer
health
yet?
insurance?
That's our self-insurance for property liability.
Property. Oh, that's for our liability insurance. Okay,
Mhm.
clear risk.
Yeah, so we paid clear risk. We budgeted within that fund, 503, for the 5 million, but we didn't budget out for all the other departments' contributions. And we figured out why. And as I mentioned in my update yesterday, I've worked with Blair and we already have we're gonna transfer in April all the money and we'll have a better sense of where it all
Okay,
landed.
settles. I still think we're gonna be about 2 million short. I know.
Well, yeah, we are. It's just
Okay.
who's short is where we're gonna be able to see.
There's no transfer.
Okay.
I think that's on your
It's the
Okay, so they have
second,
not
it's the
been
second sheet of the
other
revenue-
funds.
other fund revenue,
right here.
this one,
Did you find it?
and then it's just the second
So,
page.
so they need to be transferred.
Apparently, I don't know what.
Do you need a book, Daryl? I'll make you a book. I thought you would be the kind of person that didn't like it. But if you want a book,
Do you
Daryl.
want me to load you
Oh,
Rob?
He's a flipper.
I need a book, cause I'm not.
Here, do you want me to load you
You
Rob?
can borrow, it's the same.
No,
Rob
I
doesn't
don't
really
see
have
that
it, has
page,
Oh,
It's, here, let me see your
yeah,
packet.
second page of this.
Mm-hmm.
but the second page of this
Yep, is that.
doesn't have a title like that.
Yeah, because
This one, well,
he didn't get the good one.
You got the special one.
You got
Because
the
he's,
one.
because he's
Yeah, I
highlighted
can get
every
the
page.
titles. one.
Daryl, I'll make you a book, okay?
Okay, so I got that page.
You're too nice.
Here, Daryl, here's the other funds.
Okay, okay.
And here's 503.
You can't write on it.
Oh, I won't write on it.
It's Rob.
This is Rob's copy. I will make you your own. What color do you want?
Okay.
Black?
This is
Do you like
silver.
He likes gray.
gray?
Silver.
Okay, we have gray.
No,
Silver.
cash black.
Okay, I turned the page to the other
so what's it doing
revenue
with pits and quarries?
summary.
What do you mean? They're just down a little bit.
You're in the negative.
Oh, no. So the negative transfer was supposed to be corrected. We had a transfer that we sent to the treasurer's office, but it didn't get in by their date. And
What
so
transfer are we talking about?
to make pits and queries not be
Oh,
under,
okay.
it's a cash transfer that was initiated by Public Works. I don't know the details of what it, but we didn't get it to Daryl's office
So
during,
transfer will happen soon.
yes.
Okay.
Got you.
Noted.
Okay.
It's coming.
They're turning the page to Grant County, some revenue summary, other funds.
And a lot highlighted. I mean, you know, we're just in the first quarter of the game, so a lot of things that'll trickle in.
Anything, if there's anything that you need us to be aware of, please point it out.
I don't have any inflow concerns. We do need to talk about the 105 and our plans there,
The employee,
the Employee Development Fund. So
it was a security for us.
But-
Because last year, we put it in 2024, we put it in their budget and said you can't spend it until you go through PMRT. Well,
Yeah.
it was in the budget, they
And-
spent it,
and that's fine.
so
there's-
that's why we did a little safety net.
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with that. What's gonna happen is, it's not gonna end up being a standalone fund anymore, because it's not gonna continue to have regular inflows that are restricted of 20%. So it doesn't meet the requirement to be a standalone fund. So it's only a fund for our purposes.
Okay, and
Like,
I'm okay with that, even if it's blended in current expense.
yeah, it will be. And so even if we are transferring that money from no department to 105, at the end of the day, it is current expense money.
Mhm.
So I don't know if that alleviates Daryl's concerns. Does that,
Well, I
Daryl?
think I like having it, it's just not assigned to somebody's account.
Well, no, that's why you have reserve, you have just all this carryover reserve that's not budgeted for anything. Unless we have budget extension and you need to, the revenue sources, the reserves.
Well, so we're going to go forward with moving the money to track it for what we have available for available positions and increases throughout the year. But it is still technically current expenses money, and the commissioner can transfer it back out for any other use that they deem that they
But we're
necessary.
gonna try to stick with our budget.
Yes.
and
Mhm.
Only have it be for employee growth and training and
Salary survey.
our
I mean,
salary
there's a
survey.
signed contract in me for the salary survey.
Yeah.
So
Yes, we have a
that's
meeting
coming out
tomorrow.
there.
It's just, yeah, I'm really excited. It's been a long time coming.
Yeah.
And I just, kudos to HR because they have taken this on and it was not their project, but they did take it on. So I can't thank them enough.
And your morgue fund will be available after this week. And when are we expecting that money, Daryl?
I'm more.
Morgue, what'd I say?
I thought you said
Morgue.
more. M-O-R.
We have a closing
M-O-R-E.
in May.
More.
I don't
More,
even
oh.
know the date. This hasn't fixed in my head. Have to look at the calendar for our bond proceeds,
How much of that will go to capital projects for the morgue?
6 million.
Do we plan to do that right away?
Well, on that day we get the money, we have to deposit it into the fund. So I need a fund created before that money.
We will have it for you.
Happening.
And the 60 million plus residual will get deposited
In
into
my
this
pocket.
fund that was drawn down quite a bit over
Yeah.
a year.
Daryl, I just want to thank you for all the work that you do, even though I harass you. You're going to be missed in a couple of years if you decide not to run
If
in 19
you
months.
guys are real
There is
pushy.
no if. I'm just,
Do we have a pool going? Will
It
he,
all
won't he?
depends.
well, if Casey Cooper is the only person running, then I would run just to make sure he does.
Oh,
Okay.
What's Casey's number?
Yes, I can,
No.
we will make that happen.
Okay, I've
I'll
turned
probably
it
see him
over.
on Thursday.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I don't think
run.
he'd need to even be, just say, hey, you wanna run for, sure.
Expenditure summary.
But I don't think we have to announce my retirement to get anyone thinking about it. It's best that it's a last minute thinking.
I still
I
have a little
bet
anxiety
people are
of you.
surprised to hear you're still treasurer. Like, we're still there.
Anything, Mandy, that's on the expenditure summary for the other funds?
No, one thing, and it's not even a big deal, but the housing, affordable housing and homeless housing, they technically are the same thing. They go together as far as the budget for
Okay,
it.
I'm
So
done for the number.
129 and 130. We haven't, I don't know why we have them separate, two departments. There might be some technicality for that, but for our budget, they are rolled together.
Well, if the revenues, because the revenues are coming on the affordable housing side, and they get dispersed, and they may have limits. And so then you may have to, and then that other fund may get a transfer to that fund for,
Is this the portion that New Hope and
Yes.
and then Moses Lake gets our own? There is a pot of money that only goes to Moses Lake.
Well, for the budget, we only budgeted for one,
Okay.
and that's why
So
it's like,
this is probably not the account then.
so if the
Yeah.
city of Moses Lake gets out and doesn't want to participate anymore in the sleep center, does that,
I think we get that portion of the
do
money.
we get that money now?
Well, no, unless
That's
they use it for a
ARPA.
different program.
Right,
No, it's
but-
not ARPA, it's,
for the little houses, the little shacks.
yeah, they're trying to get out of it. So they're using
That was the ARPA
their
money?
homeless.
They have to have a plan
They may.
of how they're gonna spend
So I
it.
thought it was like $600,000. That was ARPA money, and we told
And
them.
if they have a plan to close it without a not plan of what they're
They were
gonna do with the
gonna
money
sell
left, then
But they
They
could
can't
give it
keep
to
the money.
their officer.
And it goes to us.
For hotel.
they have to have a plan to keep the money.
Okay.
That was one of the requirements when we
What other
went through
stream?
this years ago. Is they weren't sure they're gonna have a plan and we would just keep the money. Then when they heard how much we were gonna keep, then they all of a sudden created a plan so they can keep their share.
Well, of course.
But now, they gotta have a plan.
I think their plan is to wash their hands of it.
But if they don't do that, they can still do something like
Well,
through their
then-
sheriff's office, providing motels, but they have to put it in their plan.
Whose property who's the owner of the property under the sleep center?
Kevin Richards.
So the city may want to close it, but then we could keep it open.
We, the county.
Unless we don't want to.
Thanks.
For another day,
Yeah.
We don't want to
but
be
we would
on
have,
top managers.
because I don't think,
Interesting. Give me your minutes. I'll scan.
okay, overtime,
They're not signed yet.
GCO,
Oh.
okay, well, I have no questions on this, I think like, looks like we have a lot in our
This was.
So don't lose those.
And I just like to keep my eye on our health, because sometimes our health, insurance plan, it's looking great, then it just takes a couple
Yeah,
big claims to take that account.
yeah. We're due to roll a 11, or no, a 7. What is it? It's 7.
A lucky number, whatever a lucky number.
Craps is 7.
Never played it.
And thank you for the books. Okay, is there anything else? It is 11:49 and we are in recess. We are done until we meet up on Thursday, May 1st at the annual banquet, EDC annual banquet.
Oh, I guess I could move this back out of here.
Wait,
Oh.
I think it's